Chapter 21:30. Xingshi Ito nodded with red eyes, then looked at Faria, who was holding the puppy, choked up, and said, "Sister Faria, I wish you a good journey. If you have a chance, you must come to Beijing to see me." Faria also hurriedly said, "Don't worry, I definitely will. If you have time, you can also come to Ores Hill to see me and Xiaoyu." Xingshi Ito forced a bit of joy and said without hesitation, "Sister, don't worry, I will come to see you after I finish things this time." At this moment, a middle-aged man stepped down from the boat and said respectfully to Takehiko, "Sir, we are ready to set sail at any time." Takehiko Ito asked, "Where's Hashimoto?" The other party said, "Hashimoto is detained in the cabin, with all his limbs tied up. I sent someone to watch him, and there will be no mistakes." Ito nodded in satisfaction and said to Alex, "Mr. Anderson, you and Miss Adair can board the ship." Alex said, "You all go back too, let's go." Takehiko shook hands with Alex, and Xingshi also hugged Faria gently. Later, Faria came to Takehiko again and said sincerely, "Mr. Ito, this time in China, thank you for your care." Takehiko Ito laughed, shook hands with Faria gently, and said seriously, "Miss Adair, don't be polite with the Ito family at any time. You and Mr. Anderson will always be the guests of the Ito family." Xingshi Ito came to Alex's side at this time, blushing and embarrassed. When she looked at Alex, she gently opened her arms, waiting to see Alex's reaction. She wanted to hug Alex and bid farewell, but she was worried that Alex was unwilling, so she could only use this small gesture to test it. Seeing Alex smile slightly and stretch out his hand toward her, Xingshi hurriedly stepped forward, rushed into his arms, hugged him tightly, and said nothing. In fact, Xingshi had many things in her heart to say to Alex, but at this moment, in front of her father and Faria, those things could not be said. The two embraced for a while, and with Takehiko's cough, Xingshi hurriedly withdrew from Alex's arms and said to him with all her heart, "Master, take care." Alex nodded lightly, finally said goodbye to the father and daughter, and walked into the boat with Faria. This cruise ship was very large, with 3 upper floors and 3 lower floors. On the uppermost deck, there was even a freshwater swimming pool, which was much more luxurious than the cruise ship that Mr. Adair gave to Alex. After Alex and Faria got on the ship, they went directly to the top deck, stood in front of the guardrail, waved to Takehiko and Xingshi on the pier below, and said loudly, "It's too late. The sea breeze is getting colder and colder. Go back quickly." Xingshi nodded gently and asked her servant to help her father into the car. She also sat in the car obediently, but she was not in a hurry to let the driver drive, wanting to wait for the boat to leave and watch Alex fade into the horizon. At this moment, a business car with one-way black film drove in from the entrance of the dock, past the Ito family's convoy, and continued forward. In this 3-row business car, sitting in the middle row, was a beautiful woman with a struggling and painful expression. This woman was Ruoli. At this time, Ruoli was still ashamed of her own escape. At the thought of more than 50 followers who had followed her and were about to face severe punishment under Chinese law, Ruoli felt not only ashamed but also hateful. What she hated was the man who had cheated her and so many of her men at Osaka airport that day. She still remembered that man's appearance. If she had a chance, she would kill him herself and avenge her brothers. Just as she gritted her teeth, the driver said, "Miss Sue, our ship is ahead. We are ready to set sail." Ruoli wanted to take a look at the ship that was about to take her out of China, when she suddenly caught a glimpse of a man standing on the deck of the cruise ship. At this moment, Ruoli's pupils suddenly shrank, and her expression became extremely cruel. She gritted her teeth and murmured, "So it was him. It really is a narrow road for enemies."